Have you ever fallen head over heels for someone, only to realize they weren't who you thought they were? What if the love you feel isn't real, but a trick of your own mind? This provocative question lies at the heart of Carl Jung's profound insights into love, projection, and the human psyche. In this exploration, we'll dive into Jung's theories to unravel the mystery of whether your feelings are genuine love or a projection of your inner desires, fears, and fantasies. Over the next 3,000 words, split into 3 parts, we'll examine Jung's concepts, their implications for modern relationships, and how to distinguish authentic connection from psychological illusion. This first part introduces Jung's framework, the role of the unconscious, and the phenomenon of projection in romantic contexts. Who was Carl Jung? Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, revolutionized our understanding of the human mind in the early 20th century. Born in 1875, Jung founded analytical psychology, diverging from his mentor Sigmund Freud to explore the depths of the unconscious, archetypes, and the process of individuation. Unlike Freud's focus on sexuality, Jung emphasized the collective, unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experiences and symbols, and its influence on personal behavior. His ideas about projection, the anima and animus, and the shadow are especially relevant to understanding love. Jung believed that our relationships often reflect not just the other person, but hidden parts of ourselves we project outward. What is projection? Projection, in Jungian terms, is a psychological mechanism where we attribute our own unconscious traits, desires, or emotions to someone else. Imagine you're wearing tinted glasses. Everything you see is colored by the lenses, but you assume the world itself is that shade. In relationships, projection works similarly. You might see your partner as perfect, kind, witty, or heroic, because you're projecting your own ideals or unmet needs onto them. Jung argued that this happens because the unconscious mind seeks to make itself known, using others as a canvas for our inner world. For example, a man might fall for a woman he perceives as nurturing and wise, not because she inherently is, but because he's projecting his longing for a maternal figure or his own repressed sensitivity. Similarly, a woman might idolize a man as a protector, reflecting her unacknowledged strength or desire for security. Projection isn't always positive. We can also project flaws, fears, or insecurities, blaming others for traits we refuse to see in ourselves. The role of the unconscious in Jung's model of the psyche includes the conscious mind, what we're aware of, the personal unconscious, repressed memories and feelings, and the collective unconscious, universal patterns and archetypes. In love, the unconscious plays a starring role. When you meet someone and feel an instant spark, racing heart, obsessive thoughts, a sense of destiny, it's often the unconscious at work. Jung believed this intensity stems from archetypes, like the anima and animus, influencing how we perceive and connect. The anima is the feminine aspect within a man's psyche, a blend of his experiences with women, like his mother, and a collective image of the feminine. The animus is the masculine counterpart in a woman's psyche. When you fall in love, you might be projecting your anima or animus onto the other person, seeing them as the embodiment of your ideal. This explains why early love feels magical. You're not just seeing the person, but a reflection of your deepest aspirations. Love versus projection. The confusion begins. So, is it love or projection? Jung would say the line is blurry. True love, in his view, involves a conscious connection, accepting someone's flaws, quirks, and reality over time. Projection, however, is unconscious and fleeting, often fading when the other person fails to match the fantasy. Early in relationships, projection dominates. You're smitten, blind to red flags, and convinced this person completes you. Jung called this the projection of the divine image, where we cast godlike qualities onto our beloved, only to be disappointed when they reveal their humanity. Consider a classic scenario. Alex meets Jamie and feels an instant, overwhelming attraction. Jamie seems confident, mysterious, and perfect. Alex thinks this is the one. But months later, Jamie's confidence feels like arrogance, and the mystery becomes aloofness. Was Alex in love with Jamie or with a projected ideal? Jung would argue the latter, noting that projection often fuels the honeymoon phase, only to crumble under reality's weight. Why do we project in love? Projection isn't random. It's rooted in our psyche's need for growth. Jung believed the unconscious uses relationships to reveal hidden aspects of ourselves. If you're insecure, you might project confidence onto a partner, hoping they'll fix you. If you've repressed creativity, you might adore an artistic lover, living vicariously through them. This process ties to individuation, Jung's concept of becoming whole by integrating conscious and unconscious parts of the self. Romantic projection often stems from childhood. A girl with a distant father might project a need for approval onto men, seeking a partner to fill that void. A boy with a critical mother might project perfectionism onto women, chasing an unattainable ideal. Cultural influences, movies, books, and fairy tales also shape our projections, planting images of Prince Charming or the perfect woman that we overlay onto real people. The dangers of projection. While projection can feel euphoric, it's a double-edged sword. It distorts reality, setting unrealistic expectations. When your partner can't live up to the fantasy, disappointment, anger, or heartbreak follows. Jung warned that unexamined projection prevents true connection, as you're not loving the person, but a mirage. Worse, it can trap you in unhealthy patterns, choosing partners who reflect unresolved wounds rather than compatible values. For instance, if you project your need for validation onto a charismatic but unreliable partner, you might endure chaos just to feel seen. Jung believed that recognizing projection is key to breaking these cycles, allowing you to see others clearly and grow toward authentic love. Moving toward awareness, Jung didn't dismiss projection as bad. He saw it as a natural step toward self-discovery. The goal isn't to avoid it, but to become conscious of it. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to this person? What qualities do I admire or dislike, and do they mirror something in me? Journaling, therapy, or self-reflection can help. Jung's process of individuation encourages reclaiming projections, owning your strengths, flaws, and desires instead of casting them onto others. In love, this means shifting from illusion to reality. Instead of seeking a soulmate to complete, Jung advocated building a relationship with yourself first. Only then can you approach another person as an equal, not a screen for your unconscious. Conclusion of Part 1. We've scratched the surface of Carl Jung's wisdom, exploring projection, the unconscious, and their roles in love. Is your heart racing for someone real or a projection of your inner world? In the next 1,000 words, we'll dive deeper into the anima and animus, how they shape attraction, and Jung's tools for distinguishing love from illusion. Stay tuned to uncover more of the truth behind your feelings. The anima and animus, keys to romantic projection. Welcome back to our exploration of Carl Jung's insights into love and projection. In Part 1, we uncovered how projection blurs the line between genuine connection and psychological illusion, driven by the unconscious mind. Now we'll dive deeper into two of Jung's most fascinating concepts, the anima and animus, and how these archetypes shape attraction, fuel projection, and challenge our understanding of love. By examining these inner figures, we'll see why we fall for certain people, and how to move toward authentic relationships. What are the anima and animus? In Jungian psychology, the anima and animus are archetypes, universal patterns from the collective unconscious that represent the contrasexual aspects of the psyche. The anima is the feminine element within a man, a blend of personal experiences, like his mother or first love, and ancient collective images of the feminine, such as the nurturer, muse, or enchantress. The animus is the masculine counterpart within a woman, shaped by her father, brothers, or cultural ideals of men as heroes, protectors, or rebels. Jung believed these archetypes act as bridges between the conscious and unconscious, guiding us toward wholeness. In love, they're powerful drivers of projection. A man might see a woman as his anima personified, mysterious, caring, or seductive, projecting his inner feminine onto her. A woman might view a man as her animus incarnate, strong, wise, or adventurous, casting her inner masculine onto him. This creates an intense, almost mystical attraction. But is it love, or a mirror of the self? How the anima and animus shape. Attraction, picture this. Sarah meets Tom, a rugged, quiet musician, and feels an electric pull. She's captivated by his creativity and depth, believing he's her soulmate. Jung would suggest Sarah's projecting her animus, her inner image of the ideal man, perhaps tied to a childhood admiration for her artistic uncle, or a cultural archetype of the brooding genius. Meanwhile, Tom sees Sarah as warm and insightful, a projection of his anima, reflecting his longing for connection or qualities he's suppressed in himself. This dynamic explains the magic of early romance. The anima and animus ignite passion, because they connect us to something deeper, parts of ourselves we've ignored or buried. Jung noted that the stronger the projection, the more intense the attraction, often feeling like fate. But here's the catch. You're not just falling for the person, but for an idealized image rooted in your psyche. When Tom's quirks emerge, maybe he's moody or unreliable. Sarah's fantasy cracks. Was it love or projection? The stages of anima and animus development. Jung proposed that the anima and animus evolve through stages, influencing how we project in relationships. For men, the anima might start as a basic physical ideal, a beautiful woman, progress to a romantic figure, a loving partner, then a spiritual guide, a wise muse, and finally a symbol of wholeness. For women, the animus begins as a strong, heroic figure, shifts to a man of action or intellect, then a teacher or philosopher, and ultimately a balanced, integrated force. In early stages, projections are simplistic and intense. A young man might chase a woman who fits a superficial anima image, say a glamorous model, ignoring her true personality. A woman might pursue a powerful, dominant man, projecting her animus, only to find he's controlling. As we mature, Jung believed we refine these archetypes, projecting less and relating more to the real person. This growth ties to individuation, integrating the anima or animus into our conscious self for a fuller, less projected view of love. The role of culture and personal experience. Our anima and animus aren't formed in a vacuum. Personal experiences, parents, siblings, early crushes shape them, blending with cultural myths. Fairy tales, movies, and songs feed us images of princesses, knights, or star-crossed lovers, molding our expectations. A woman raised on romantic comedies might project her animus as a charming, witty hero, while a man influenced by action films might see his anima as a delicate, damsel-like figure needing rescue. For example, Jake, who grew up with a nurturing mother and Disney tales, might project his anima onto Emily, seeing her as a gentle, perfect savior. When Emily asserts her independence, Jake feels confused or betrayed. His projection doesn't match reality. Jung argued that recognizing these influences helps us peel back the layers, questioning whether our feelings stem from the person or our programmed ideals. The pitfalls of anima and animus projection via the anima and animus can spark romance, but it's fraught with danger. First, it distorts reality. You might idolize a partner, ignoring flaws, only to crash when they can't sustain the fantasy. Second, it blocks true intimacy. If you're in love with your anima's image, not your partner's authentic self, you're not connecting, you're fantasizing. Third, it can trap you in patterns. A woman projecting her animus might repeatedly choose strong men who turn abusive, mistaking control for power. Jung saw this as a call to action. The pain of a crumbling projection, disappointment, fights, breakups, is a chance to grow. By facing the mismatch, you start to withdraw the projection, asking, What part of me am I seeing in them? Am I seeking love or a mirror for my unconscious? Moving toward authentic love, Jung didn't reject the anima and animus. He saw them as guides to self-awareness. To move beyond projection, start with self-reflection. Journal about your partner. What traits do you admire or resent? Do they echo your past, your fears, or your dreams? Therapy, especially Jungian analysis, can help uncover your anima or animus. Dreams are another tool. Jung believed they reveal these archetypes, showing a woman's animus as a wise man or a man's anima as a guiding figure. The goal is to integrate these parts. A man who owns his anima, embracing sensitivity or creativity, stops needing a woman to embody it. A woman who claims her animus, asserting strength or logic, relies less on a man to reflect it. This shift paves the way for love based on reality, seeing your partner's strengths, flaws, and humanity, not a projected ideal. Practical steps to spot projection. Here are some steps to test your feelings. Question the intensity. Is your attraction sudden and overwhelming? Projection often feels instant and obsessive. Check the idealization. Do you see your partner as perfect? This might be your anima or animus at play. Reflect on patterns. Do you fall for the same type repeatedly? This could signal a recurring projection. Examine triggers. What annoys or enchants you about them? These traits might mirror your unconscious. Talk it out. Discuss your feelings with your partner or a friend. Reality checks help dissolve illusions. Conclusion of Part 2. In this segment, we've explored the anima and animus, Jung's powerful archetypes driving projection. In love, they shape who we're drawn to, often clouding reality with fantasy. Is it love or a reflection of your inner masculine or feminine? Next, in Part 3, we'll examine Jung's tools for distinguishing true love from projection, how to integrate these insights and practical ways to build authentic relationships. Stay now. We'll uncover Jung's tools for separating true love from psychological illusion, how to integrate these insights for self-growth, and practical steps to build authentic relationships. By the end, you'll have a clearer answer to the question, is it love or projection? Let's dive in and find the truth. Jung's view. What is true love? Carl Jung believed true love differs sharply from projection. While projection fuels the early intoxicating rush, where your partner seems perfect, fated, or divine, authentic love emerges through consciousness and time. Love, in Jung's eyes, is a deliberate bond, where you see and accept your partner's real self, flaws, quirks, and all. It's not about completing you or mirroring your unconscious, but about mutual growth, respect, and partnership. Projection fades when the fantasy crumbles. True love endures through reality's tests, disagreements, imperfections, and life's chaos. Jung tied this to individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating your unconscious. If you rely on a partner to embody your anima, animus, or unmet needs, you're projecting. True love begins when you reclaim those parts, approaching the other as an equal, not a savior. But how do you tell the difference? Jung offers clues and methods to guide us. Signs of projection versus signs of love. To distinguish love from projection, Jung's insights suggest looking for these markers. Signs of projection: instant intensity, a sudden overwhelming connection, feeling. They're the 1 days after meeting, often signals the anima or animus at work. Idealization or demonization. You see your partner as flawless, a god or goddess, or overly flawed, blaming them for your insecurities, reflecting your unconscious. Repetitive patterns. Falling for the same type, charming but distant, needy but sweet, hints at unresolved needs you project outward. Emotional volatility, rapid highs, euphoria, and lows, disappointment, suggest you're reacting to a fantasy, not reality. Signs of true love. Slow growth, feelings deepen gradually, built on shared experiences, not instant magic. Clear vision. You see your partner's strengths and weaknesses, annoying habits, bad days, and still care. Mutual effort. Both of you work to understand, support, and compromise, not just fulfill a dream. Stability. The connection feels steady, not a roller coaster, even amid challenges. Jung warned that projection dominates early stages, but love grows as you withdraw projections, seeing the person clearly. A key test. If they fail to match your fantasy and you still value them, it's leaning toward love. Jung's tools for clarity. Jung offered practical and introspective tools to peel back projection and foster authentic connection. Here's how. To apply them. Self-reflection, examine your feelings. Why are you drawn to this person? List traits you love or hate. Do they echo your past, parents, exes, or hidden desires? For example, if you adore their confidence, is it a strength you've buried? Journaling helps. Write daily about your emotions, looking for patterns. Dream analysis. Jung saw dreams as a window to the unconscious. Your anima might appear as a wise woman, your animus as a bold man. If your partner resembles these figures, you're likely projecting. Record dreams upon waking. Note symbols, emotions, and connections to your relationship. Shadow work. The shadow, your repressed traits, often fuels projection. If you despise your partner's anger, it might mirror your own suppressed rage. Face your shadow by asking, what do I avoid in myself? Therapy, especially Jungian, can guide you to integrate these traits, reducing projection. Dialogue and reality checks. Talk to your partner openly. Share feelings. Ask about their reality. Do they see themselves as the hero or nurturer you imagine? Friends' perspectives help too. If others see red flags you miss, projection might be blinding you. Integrating insights. The path to individuation. Jung's ultimate goal was individuation, becoming whole by embracing all parts of your psyche. In love, this means owning your anima, animus, and shadow instead of projecting them. A man who integrates his anima embraces sensitivity, needing no woman to complete him. A woman who claims her animus owns her power, not seeking it in a man. This self-awareness dissolves illusions, paving the way for genuine connection. Start small. Meditate on your needs. Security, creativity, validation. Are you asking your partner to fill them? Work on yourself. Paint, write, build confidence. So, you bring a fuller self to the relationship. Jung believed this not only clarifies love but enriches it, as two whole people connect, not two halves chasing a fantasy. Practical steps to build authentic love. Here's a roadmap to move from projection to real love. Pause the rush. If feelings surge fast, slow down. Date longer. Observe your partner in varied settings. Stress, joy, routine. Challenge ideals. Question your perfect image. If they stumble, forget a date, snap in anger. Do you still care? This tests reality. Grow together. Share goals. Values and flaws. Discuss dreams, fears, and beliefs to align with truth, not projection. Seek balance. Don't lose yourself. Keep hobbies, friends, and time alone to avoid merging into their image. Be patient. Love takes time. Jung saw it as a conscious choice, built through trust, not a lightning bolt. The payoff. Authentic connection. When you withdraw projections, love transforms. You see your partner as human, messy, unique, and worthy. Jung didn't dismiss the magic of attraction. He saw it as a spark to self-discovery. Projection draws you in, but consciousness sustains you. A couple who navigates this, facing illusions, owning their psyches, builds a bond of depth, resilience, and mutual respect. For example, Mia projected her animus onto Sam, seeing him as a wise protector. When Sam faltered, unsure, clumsy, Mia reflected, owned her strength, and saw him anew. Their love grew, not from fantasy but from truth. Conclusion. Jung's truth unveiled, is it love or projection? Carl Jung reveals it's often both. Projection ignites the flame, but love fans it into lasting light. Through self-reflection, dream analysis, and shadow work, you can strip away illusions, integrate your psyche, and embrace authentic connection. The truth lies in seeing yourself and your partner clearly, building a bond beyond the unconscious tricks. Next time your heart races, ask, is this them or me? With Jung's wisdom, you'll find the answer, and perhaps true love.